did right.
Life's one hell of an adventure.
By my side.
We're only here one time.
Many a young maid lost her
I've made the
baubles
decision
by trade.
to be legitimate, to be upfront, try to be wholesome, to be for real, and to be a good guy. But if you're a good guy, you can't just say you're a good guy and then ignore all the evil that's going on around you. See, good propaganda, the elite has written, and Joseph Goebbels said this, so did Edward Bernays, the father of kind of Western propaganda in the last 100 years, that it speaks to your laziness, it speaks to your archetypes, it speaks to rationalization. People want to ignore things. We can't ignore the corruption that's out of control anymore, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's go back to the calls as promised here. Let's talk to Frank in North Carolina. You're on the air. Thanks for holding, Frank.
Hey, Alex, I appreciate you taking my call.
Appreciate you calling, and I appreciate that good, clear phone line.
Well, I thought you would appreciate that. I normally don't have the opportunity to do this, but I figured I'd take advantage of it, and so I am on a regular phone. I woke up back in 2005. It's the first time I've ever called you. I've been listening to your show ever since then, and trying to wake up as many people as I can, but I was so caught up, I'm embarrassed that it took me that long to wake up. I'm 43. I was so caught up in watching the insanity of the left that I wasn't paying enough attention to what the right was up to. I voted for George Bush. I'm ashamed to say I voted for him twice. I voted for his father before that. I did vote for Ron Paul in the Republican primary this past year, and I could not vote for McCain or Obama. But anyway, that's a little bit about me. But I credit you with helping me to break free of that false left paradigm, and also Alan Watt has been instrumental in me really understanding the bigger picture. And I don't know how he does it. His knowledge is amazing, as is yours. Well,
what is amazing is that when you research what Alan Watt's saying, which we've done, it's all true. No matter how wild it sounds, it's all sourced. But see, I'll stop a lot of times and try to source what I'm saying. Alan, it's real smooth because a lot of times he won't even source it. He posts it on his site of sourcing, but he just says it as fact. And so that, it just really comes off well. I'll go ahead and announce there's some bigger surprises, but he is in the next Obama film. It's hard to get into Canada, especially if you're anti-New World Order, but we got in, interviewed him for 2 days. He's going to be in the next two films, the eugenics film and the next Obama film. And so Alan Watt is in the next film, but side issue, go ahead.
Well, actually, he does source quite a bit of what he says also.
No. People will spin that as a jibe. I'm not saying that. I know. I'm just saying he will sometimes just make these statements, and then he won't stop and source it. He'll just say it's on the site, and I'm just saying it's very smooth how he does it.
Yeah, well, a lot of times he will tell you the name of the book that the person wrote, and he won't maybe give you the exact page, but he'll give you the name of the person and whatnot. But anyway, I was in the Marine Corps for 4 years after high school. It's something that I had planned on doing, and I did my 4 years and got out, and that's what I planned on doing. Went back to school, got a bachelor's degree and whatnot. But anyway, that's the only time in my entire life that I have ever had to raise my hand and take an oath and swear allegiance. They made me do that before I went down to Parris Island for basic, and I had to swear an oath to uphold and defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And as best I can remember, there was no expiration date on that.
Well, there isn't.
I'm almost sure there wasn't.
There isn't, and the New World Order uses our best men, a few good men, to carry out all these New World Order actions, and always frames it like we're the good guys. And a lot of times we are, but they don't tell the Marines, oh, by the way, the globalists funded that thug or that revolutionary group, built them up as the pretext to then bring in the Marines or the Army. And so it's that playing chess instead of checkers is what a lot of folks call it. We have to start playing chess instead of checkers and figure out how sophisticated this is. Like, oh, we bomb Gaddafi, he's the bad guy, but as soon as he does what the New World Order says, now he's a good guy. Again, the truth is black and white, but it's more sophisticated, and it's hard to find out what the real black and white are. It's easy to say, oh, things are black and white, which they are. But how do you find what's really black and what's really white? Because the enemy is great at camouflaging everything. It's like Donald Rumsfeld gave the reactors to North Korea. The West armed Pakistan with the nukes. That's on record. Again, they're creating these enemies. And then, well, like Saddam Hussein, basically telling him, April Gillespie, to go ahead and attack Kuwait, and he'd been told to go ahead and attack Iran and was funded. And so when he got told to do that, he said, well, hell, I'll do it then. I mean, he was recruited by the CIA at 18 years of age, on record. He was sent in. He committed assassinations in Iraq. He was put in power by the West. He was set up. Is that saying he's good? No. The point is, who set it up? It's kind of like a mafia chief. And he sends out his capos and to order the soldiers to carry out crimes, and then they bust the captains and the privates, and they're in a judgment at Nuremberg trial, and the judge is the Don. The judge is the crime boss that sent them. Here's an example of hypocrisy, this was in the mainstream news in 2004. They were arresting people as kind of sacrificial goats who had tortured people to death in Afghanistan at these bases. And then the guys would go, hey, I was ordered to, national security letter. The FBI would arrest them. This was in the news, and declare Patriot Act powers and gag them so they couldn't show those orders to torture. Now, torture's bad enough, folks, but when you get caught torturing so you burn the guys that follow the orders, that's a level of hypocrisy that just blows me away. Anything else, Frank?
One quick note and then a final question. I'm sure you're going to be covering this if you haven't already. Burmis may have covered it last night or sometime, but Wayne Madsen has just come out with a report on something. Keywords would be the Q group and the NSA, a special unit for the purpose of suppressing news media and whistleblowers with anything related to 9/11. So everybody make a note of that. But also,
okay. I didn't hear this. Go to WayneMadsenReport.com right now. This is too important. Call Wayne Madsen right now. See if he can pop in right now, or if he can pop in next hour with Chapman. Madsen, but by the way, is another guy where no matter how wild it sounds, it always comes out later he was right on issue after issue. You know why I can confirm? I haven't confirmed what you're saying yet, but remember the Violent Radicalization Act that they were having 2 years ago hearings in Congress about, and they showed architects and engineers, Richard Gage. They showed video of him next to al-Qaeda training groups and said, this is al-Qaeda, we've got to ban these groups. And they've had Army colonels on the news, on Fox, saying kill bloggers. And then the Cybersecurity Command head a month and a half ago said, we're going to attack U.S. bloggers. And then 2 years ago, they had the Pentagon announce CENTCOM out of Florida, said we're now going to engage in offensive actions against bloggers in the U.S., and then now he's saying it's called the Q group. Tell me more about this.
Okay, it's mainly NSA. Apparently the FBI, some elements of the FBI are also involved, and also private contractors, approximately 1,000, according to Wayne Madsen, throughout the country, hidden away in little places, I don't know where, but to call out and bring to the attention anyone who may be going, be coming out as a whistleblower, or anyone in the media who may be revealing too much or touching any dangerous issues that may connect 9/11 in any way with the government. I actually watched a video about approximate 5-minute interview where he was being interviewed by someone from the delay between his responses to the questioner. The guy had a British accent. I think it was some type of foreign media, but it was about a 5-minute interview, and I'm sure he's probably got something on his website about it as well.
No, here it is. We've got it. We'll go ahead and play Wayne Madsen right now. What was your question?
I don't understand. You have all these learned guests on there, like Bob Bowman, for example, and Mike Rivero and all these guys who they're with it. They know what's going on. They've known for a lot longer than I have, but they have this certain reverence for Obama, and it's so obvious to me right from the beginning. This guy is so transparent what he's all about. When you find out who is backing this guy, the Rockefellers, Brzezinski, all these guys, they handpicked this guy for his talent as a slick showroom spokesman, and these guys still, they sound so intelligent. They're revealing all this information like Lieutenant Colonel Bob Bowman did the other day. But then in the end, it's like, well, you know, I think he can save us. He'll turn against his masters, the New World Order, and he'll save us. And I'm like, you guys.
And you want to know my take on that? All right, I appreciate your call. I mean, is that your point? You want my response to that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. I like Mike Rivera. Okay? And I knew he was looking around for a radio show. I don't have any control over who gets a show, but I told Ted, this is a talented guy. You ought to give him a radio show, and he has one here. And then he suddenly starts liking Obama and, you know, saying, well, you know, he'll end the war and he'll do this and that. I think it's great. Now, he immediately, as soon as Obama showed he was a liar, came out and said, I'm against Obama. Obama's horrible. So, you know, Mike's good on that. But we had some big arguments on and off air about that. Bowman is trying to play a little politics here, knowing that Obama's popular with a lot of folks. You know, he's trying to say, oh, yeah, he is controlled by these people, and, man, I sure wish he'd rebel against them. So